this, you're bringing this same message. You're really nationally speaking at events and sharing about this and blogging and great content that you're putting out on this topic. But you're also doing something hyper local right in Indianapolis that I'm pretty excited about.
We're trying.
Share a little bit about this vision. A vision can oftentimes in its early stages be a burden. And you're carrying a heavy vision that is, but I believe it's an amazing vision that's going to transform a lot of lives and help a lot of people to do good business.
Yeah.
So share a little bit about what's coming in Indianapolis.
Well, God willing, right? I've been talking about this really for the better part of 4 years, and it's funny. I tell people a lot. I've gotten to the point where I imagine when people hear me talk about it again, like they're patting me on the head and just saying, "Oh, this is sweet. It's so sweet. Erik's talking about that again," right? But we've had this vision for about 4 years now for a space. We are more connected technologically than we have ever been before.
That's right.
But we are more isolated and alone than we've ever been before.
That's true.
How do those two things go together, right? And so we've had this vision. Our company functions out of an office. We have about 3,500 square feet where our employees work from, but it's a separate office. It's an isolated office. And as we're out talking about this intersection of the gospel and the marketplace, I have so many people going, can I come work for you? Are you hiring, right? And what I finally realized was they weren't saying, I want to come work for an affordable housing company. They were saying, I want to be around other people that feel the way that we feel about this, right? Yeah. So we are in the process right now. We've acquired some acreage in a really booming up and coming area of Indianapolis, the west side of Indianapolis, and we're planning to build kind of a building. We're calling it the Stone Table Building, but it's going to have a whole number of components to it. All right, so it's going to have Class A office space where businesses like ours, like-minded businesses like ours, can work out of a collaborative space environment. We'll have our own space, but we'll have a lot of interaction, space, proximity to one another. So it'll be Class A office. We're going to try to move a number of like-minded existing businesses into that. We're going to have a co-working space where the community can come in and try to have just a lot of activity from the community. So people who want to work out of a co-working type space. We're talking right now to a well-known faith-based incubator accelerator from the States about launching an incubator accelerator out of this space as well. Cool. And we want to have an event space, about 300 or 400 seat auditorium that can expand maybe to 500 plus. Where we'll have events where we can start a Center for Faith and Work, where we can have retail space, coffee shop, small restaurant, and then we're hoping to tie it in with a park system outside. And actually, the building design's kind of cool. The guy has actually built it with the whole message of Scripture built into it: creation, fall, redemption, resurrection, and out back the resurrection gardens will be a gathering place for people and for events. But the idea is to take this concept of our faith and work and bring people together around it. We feel the word proximity is what keeps popping up for us. Beautiful things happen when like-minded people are in proximity with one another, and I think our culture is it's separating us. It's pulling us apart just by nature. I mean, I can work out of my house now, right? I don't have to. No. We could have recorded this literally with me and Indy,
exactly,
right? But there is nothing like being in physical space with other human beings, right? Like what did I tell you? I said, I want to come here. I want to see your office. I want to be around. I want to feel the space, right? So now we feel like we've got a connection that we've never had before. So proximity, the word proximity is so important. So our hope is that we're going to take the seeds that started our company almost 30 years ago, and we're trying to harvest them into this space and just spread them around and see what else might grow. So that's the hope and the goal. We've got a big lift in front of us right now. We're trying to raise our equity money, trying to raise our donor dollars, trying to put the financing and that whole stack together, how we're going to make it happen. But my hope is that we'll break ground sometime next year.
Awesome.
And, so sometime in 2021, this thing will finally, God willing, become a reality.
what for the right investors, the right people, when they hear of that,
Yeah.
what do they need to be about? What's going to capture them that they'll want to invest in this?
Yeah, well, we would tell people, we want this thing to be financially viable, right? So we're not asking for. We feel like we've built and are building a real workable business model.
Yeah.
But in order for us to have the type of tenants, to have the type of people in this building that we want, we're trying to keep the rents at a reasonable rate, right?
Yeah.
So I would tell you, we want people who want to invest in real estate. I mean, we think we can get a return on money. It may be a little less than market rate,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we want people who see what I would call multiple bottom lines. Okay.
That's right.
So there's multiple bottom lines to this. There's a financial bottom line, but there is also a social, a spiritual bottom line, and we want people that can count their return on investment both in dollars and in the beauty that they see coming out of the facility. So we're looking for those types of people. If you're just in it for cash on cash return,
Yeah.
we're probably not the project for
better
you.
places.
But if you're looking for a place where you can get a reasonable return on your money and what we hope will be an exponential, eternal return on your money, those are the types of people that we want to join hands with and say, come take this journey with us.
Awesome. One of the things that I think it's embedded in this is this DNA of wanting to help the nations too, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about the businesses that spin off, and because there's a lot of tech incubators, accelerators in Indianapolis, they're great places. Right. But this is where maybe businesses that are also in alignment with those multiple bottom lines are going to come in there. Young students, I think of myself when I was 18, 19, wanting to do business, but wanting to do business in Romania that would actually make a difference in the country. And at that time, I was the oddball, right? Like, what the heck? You want to go to a different country and do business? And that just didn't reconcile for people. But I think there's going to be so many young people that come through this building that have a desire or a dream to do something, and you guys are going to have created an environment where they can be in close proximity to leaders that can help make that happen.
Yeah.
And so the impact that's going to spring out of that, I think, is going to be huge. So much more than just an office park, co-working, all the things you listed off, but all of those together, the impact that will fly off that, I think, is going to be huge.
It's funny, you said it earlier. I told my dad and our other kind of founding board members and the guys who were really the genesis behind this, I said, you guys were like missional business before missional business was cool, Yeah. And I feel like part of my job in trying to steward this into the next generation is to honor that original commitment, but to articulate it, right? I mean, these guys just went to work, right? I mean, they just rolled up their sleeves and went to work. That's what they knew how to do, right? And they built something beautiful. And, for me, to have my dad as a key, the key lead driver for making this happen day to day, it's such a special thing. But these guys would have never talked about it this way. Part of it's their generation, right?
Yeah.
But, my dad would have never talked about it this way. So for me to be able to kind of reverse engineer this now and articulate it, and then my hope is to look at so many other people and say, look at how this can work. Right?
Yeah, here's an example.
Here's an example of how this can work. The marketplace is sacred. The marketplace is about adding value. The marketplace is about serving people. It's about washing feet. It's about leaving people better than they came. And in turn, you get compensated for that investment. It's not about how much can I take. Yeah. It's primarily about how much can I give. And when we give, the whole rises. The whole rises.
That's good.
And so that's what we want to be about.
That's awesome. We need that message in more businesses that are out there, because businesses got a bad rap, and oftentimes because they were doing bad things.
Because the Enrons of the world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we need more businesses leading by that example, and that comes back to those leaders, leaders and decision makers.
And you're doing that here.
We're trying our best, and I look up to you as a leader and in this space as a real influencer that people are listening to. And in your words, I think it's right to say you're articulating that message. And for both generations, for many generations, it's your parents, your dad's generation, that went out and build.
Yeah.
They build things,
Yeah.
and they were very successful and oftentimes very generous.
Yeah.
I say that I think it's their generation. They wanted to give money and generous to do
Yeah.
good things with their money.
Yeah.
And now it's this younger generation that really wants to do good. They don't want to just make money and give it away. They want to actually do good. They want to be part of it. And it's really, I think, our generation right in the middle that I think is that baton generation.
Yeah.
That is really is taking that baton and helping hand it over.
Right.
So I really hope that builder generation sees the stone table and the stone table building and sees the impact it's going to have and will really rally behind that and embrace it. Because it's a lot of money. It feels like a lot of money building a big building,
Yeah.
but in all reality, it's not. And it's a great business model behind it that's going to have a big impact. And so I'm a big cheerleader for you, and I just love what you guys are doing.